Not all thieves come for your wallet. Some steal your peace, your focus, your very energy, without you even noticing. In daily life, we often meet people who leave us feeling drained, unsettled, or emotionally heavy after just a short interaction. Why does this happen? And more importantly, how can we protect ourselves? Buddhist wisdom offers timeless answers. It teaches us that the energy we carry is as precious as our time, and once it's lost, it's not easily regained. The Buddha spoke of right association, choosing carefully the people we allow into our mental and emotional space. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, and you'll notice your mind becoming lighter, your spirit more stable. But when negativity seeps in, even from those we care about, it can quietly erode our inner peace. The truth is, protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's self-respect. Through mindfulness, detachment, and compassionate boundaries, we can be kind without being consumed. Imagine a golden shield around your heart, soft enough for love to flow out, but strong enough to keep toxicity from coming in. By learning to recognize energy drainers and practicing Buddhist protection, you reclaim your calm, your focus, and your joy. This isn't about avoiding the world. It's about walking through it with wisdom and a steady mind. So, let's explore how to protect your energy every single day. We're about to step into the very first part of today's video, the hidden influence. How the people around you shape your mind. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This isn't just a poetic truth. It's a deep reminder that our mental world is constantly molded by the energies we allow in. Spend enough time with someone, and you don't just hear their words. You begin to feel their moods, carry their burdens, and sometimes even mirror their patterns. When we surround ourselves with people who radiate negativity, frustration, or constant criticism, our mind becomes like a still pond into which drops of ink keep falling. Slowly, the clarity fades. We might start thinking thoughts that aren't truly ours, feeling emotions that don't belong to us. This happens because of attachment, the subtle habit of holding on to others' emotional states as if they were our own. Imagine walking through a crowded market carrying an empty backpack. Every person you meet quietly drops a stone inside. Their anger, their fears, their disappointments. By the end of the day, you're exhausted, and you can't even remember which stones are yours and which aren't. Buddhist wisdom invites us to notice this process as it unfolds. It's not about avoiding people in pain. Compassion is at the heart of the path, but it is about seeing clearly when another person's suffering begins to cloud our mind. When we can see it, we can choose not to carry it. The mind is our true home. If we leave the doors wide open without awareness, anyone's storm can rush in. But with mindfulness, we can open the windows for fresh air and close them when the winds turn harsh. Protecting the mind doesn't mean shutting the world out. It means letting in what brings clarity and gently letting go of what doesn't. In the end, who we spend time with is not just a social choice, it's a spiritual one. The people around us shape not just our day, but the person we are becoming. And when we understand that, we begin to choose more wisely. And now, flowing naturally from what we explored in the first part, let's step into the second part of today's journey. Reading the subtle signals. Noticing when your energy is being affected, because awareness is the first and most powerful line of defense. Think about it. How many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling heavy, unsettled, or even strangely tired, but couldn't pinpoint why? In that moment, something important slipped past your awareness, the shift in your emotional state. Buddhist mindfulness practice trains us to notice these micro shifts as they happen. Not hours later, not when it's too late, but in real time. Like a skilled sailor who feels the slightest change in the wind, we too can learn to sense when another person's emotional current begins to steer our mind. Meditation becomes our anchor here. It's not just sitting with your eyes closed, it's learning the texture of your own inner landscape so well that any disturbance stands out instantly. Self-observation turns into a gentle alarm system, alerting you when your energy is being pulled away. When you notice it, you can pause, breathe, reset your posture, your gaze, your inner tone. These are small acts, but they reestablish the boundary between your peace and someone else's storm. Imagine your mind as a quiet tea room. Every time a guest enters, they bring a different scent, some soothing, some overpowering. Mindfulness is the act of noticing the scent the moment it drifts in and deciding whether to let it linger or let it pass. The more we sharpen this awareness, the less likely we are to carry emotions that are not ours. And in that clarity, we reclaim a freedom that is priceless, the freedom to remain centered, even in the presence of chaos. After learning in part 2 how to recognize and respond to the influence of others, we now dive deeper into the 3 poisons and how they silently drain your energy. In Buddhist wisdom, greed, hatred, and delusion are seen as the root of all suffering. And if you look closely, you'll notice that those who leave you feeling tired, drained, or emotionally heavy often carry one, or sometimes all, of these poisons within them. Greed is not always about money or possessions. It can be the endless hunger for attention, validation, or control. Being around someone who constantly takes without giving can feel like standing beside a dry well. No matter how much you pour in, it's never enough. Hatred may appear as bitterness, resentment, or subtle hostility. It's the heavy air in the room when someone speaks with contempt, the silent judgment that erodes our calm. Without noticing, we begin to breathe in their anger, and it weighs down our hearts. Delusion is the fog of misunderstanding, the inability to see truth clearly. When someone is lost in their own false stories or refuses to see reality, they can pull us into their confusion, making us question our own clarity. But here's the truth. The Buddha taught that all things, including these poisons, are impermanent. Like clouds, they may block the sun for a while, but they cannot hold the sky forever. Our task is not to fight these clouds with more storms, but to step back, breathe, and let them pass without letting them define us. When we recognize the 3 poisons in others, and sometimes even in ourselves, we can meet them with compassion without absorbing their toxicity. We can say, "I see your pain," without carrying it home. In doing so, we protect our energy and preserve the light within us. When you start to see the subtle ways negative seeds take root in your mind, a new question arises. Who do I allow to plant in my garden? In Buddhism, this awareness blossoms into a powerful practice called right association, choosing companions whose presence feeds your wisdom, compassion, and inner light. The Buddha taught that we should keep close those who bring wisdom, compassion, and uplifting energy into our lives. They are like a fresh breeze on a hot day. Their presence leaves you lighter, calmer, and more inspired. On the other hand, people who constantly sow negativity, deceit, or selfishness can pull you into their emotional storms without you even realizing it. Practicing right association doesn't mean turning your back on those who are suffering. In fact, compassion asks us to be present for them when we can. But it does mean being aware of when their energy begins to cloud your own. If you notice your thoughts becoming heavier, your emotions becoming restless, or your peace beginning to slip away, that's your signal to step back, breathe, and restore balance. Choosing the right company is not an act of judgment. It's an act of self-care. Just as a seed needs the right soil to grow, your mind needs the right environment to thrive. Surround yourself with those who water your growth, and you'll find it easier to protect your energy and stay aligned with your true self. After surrounding yourself with people who lift your spirit, there's still one truth you must face. Even the kindest hearts can be swept away if they have no anchor. This is where detachment with compassion becomes your lifeline. That's when the next lesson opens. Detachment isn't about closing your heart or walking away. It's about being the calm lake in the middle of someone else's storm, able to reflect the sky without letting the storm churn your depths. The Buddha taught that we must first guard our own mind before we can truly help others. Without this, compassion turns into exhaustion, and giving becomes a slow erosion of the soul. Healthy boundaries are the invisible fences that protect your inner garden. They let sunlight and fresh air in, but keep out the weeds that would choke your peace. Saying no without guilt, stepping back without anger. These are not acts of rejection, but of respect for yourself and for the other person's path. Ask yourself, am I sharing my light because I have it in abundance, or because I fear what will happen if I don't? When you give from fullness, love flows like a river with strong banks, steady, directed, and nourishing. Without those banks, it floods, destroying what it was meant to sustain. So hold your center. Let your love have structure. And remember, protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's the only way your compassion can last a lifetime. After mastering the art of letting go, not allowing others' emotions to dictate your inner state, there's a deeper practice waiting for you. Compassion without negative attachment. Because detachment protects your boundaries, but compassion keeps your heart alive. The Buddha taught that true loving kindness, metta, is not about drowning in someone else's suffering. It is about standing steady like a lighthouse while still sending light across a stormy sea. When faced with negativity, we can choose to meet it with warmth instead of resistance. But warmth does not mean stepping into the fire. It means you stay rooted in your own peace while offering kindness from a safe distance. Imagine your heart surrounded by a golden sphere, soft enough to let love flow outward, strong enough to keep toxic energy from flooding in. And here's the truth. Reacting with anger to negativity doesn't punish the other person. It punishes you. The Buddha reminded us, you will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. So when someone's bitterness or chaos reaches toward you, breathe, ground yourself, and let their emotions pass through like wind through an open field. This is not weakness. This is emotional discipline. It's the ability to love without losing yourself. And the more you practice this, the more you'll find that compassion and boundaries are not opposites. They are partners, each protecting and amplifying the other. When you've learned to protect your peace with compassion, you realize something profound. You don't have to walk this path alone. This is where the power of a healthy community, the Sangha, becomes a living shield around your spirit. In Buddhism, the Sangha is not just a group of people. It's a circle of wisdom and kindness that nourishes your growth. These are the souls who remind you who you are when life tries to make you forget. They inspire you to rise higher, yet keep you grounded in humility. When you surround yourself with wise, compassionate companions, their presence becomes like a protective field. They help you hold your boundaries without hardening your heart. They reflect your best self back to you, especially when your own vision gets clouded. And here's the beauty. Just as they guard your energy, you guard theirs. In this exchange, you create a cycle of renewal instead of depletion. Negative influences lose their power, not because they disappear, but because your roots are nourished by healthier soil. The Buddha himself walked with a Sangha, knowing that even the strongest mind thrives in the company of truth and virtue. Your Sangha might be a close friend, a meditation group, or even an online community that uplifts you. What matters is the quality of energy you share. So ask yourself, who are the people that light up your path? And just as importantly, whose path are you lighting? Every person we meet, every word they speak, every wave of energy they carry, all of it touches us in ways we often don't realize. And yet the most profound truth is this. You always have the power to choose what stays in your heart and what you let pass through. Life will never be free of those who drain your energy. But when you stand rooted in mindfulness, guarded by healthy boundaries and surrounded by a Sangha that lifts you higher, their shadows cannot dim your light. You become the still water in which no storm can take hold. Calm, clear, and unshaken. This is not just a practice. It is a way of living. Every mindful breath, every conscious no, every step toward compassion without attachment, these are the threads that weave a life of unshakable peace. So as you leave this video, I invite you to reflect. Who truly nourishes your soul? And what boundaries can you create today to protect the light within you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insight might be the spark someone else needs right now. And if this message resonates, subscribe for the next teaching. We will journey deeper together into the art of protecting your energy, living with balance, and walking this path with wisdom and grace.